Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back another video today. And today the Dallas Cowboys have traded for Jordan Phillips, who is a defensive tackle from the New York Giants. Although he's never played for the New York Giants, he was someone who was signed by the Giants this offseason and has spent the last 2 seasons with the Buffalo Bills. Before that was with the Arizona Cardinals. Funny enough, last 2 seasons with the Bills, then the 2 seasons before that, 2021, 2020 with the Cardinals, but 2019 he was with the Buffalo Bills. In 2018 he was with Miami and Buffalo, and then if we were going to go from when he started his career, from 2015 through 2017, he was with the Miami Dolphins. So he has almost been, or has been in half of the AFC East, playing for the Bills and the Dolphins, and then he's also spent some time with the Arizona Cardinals. And now he's been in half of the NFC, in the NFC East. So he's been in half of both of the East, NFC East, and then AFC East. So I wonder if we'll see him play for the New York Jets and the New England Patriots, and then same thing goes for the Commanders and the Eagles. I'm just kidding. But I like this trade for the Cowboys, even though I do not like the Cowboys as a team. I like this addition. I mean, they need a defensive tackle. They just lost their 25-year-old defensive tackle, Sam Williams, who had a total of 4.5 sacks for them last season, to a season-ending, I believe it was a torn Achilles for Sam Williams. It might have been a torn ACL, though. I think it was a torn ACL. And needed to find a way to replace that void. Obviously, he wasn't a starter for Dallas, but he was a nice rotational, defensive tackle, defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. So you got to try to, fill that void as he's out for the season. Even though Dallas has a lot of depth in the defensive tackle room, defensive line room, still needed to find a way to replace that. And this is a good way to do it. Jordan Phillips is a guy who has done a lot of good things in his career. This past season in 2023, played 14 games with 9 starts with Buffalo at defensive tackle. He had 5 passes deflected with 2.5 sacks, with 15 combined tackles and 2 tackles for loss. Now, obviously not as good as Sam Williams. Obviously, I don't think they were really looking for someone who was going to be better than Sam Williams, but I also will say that Sam Williams did play every single game this past season, while Jordan Phillips only played 14 games for Buffalo. So Sam Williams did play 3 more games than Phillips did. In 2022, he played 12 games with 1 start with the Bills. He had 2 passes deflected with 1.5 sacks, 20 combined tackles, and 11 tackles for loss. So more than half of his tackles were for loss. And he also, it was 11 assisted tackles, 9 solo tackles, and then 3 tackles for loss, and then 6 QB hits. Now, his best season of his career did come in 2019 with the Buffalo Bills. He did have some solid seasons with the Cardinals in 2020, 2021. But in 2019 with Buffalo, 16 games, 9 starts, 1 forced fumble, 9.5 sacks, 31 combined tackles, with 13 tackles for loss and 16 QB hits. It's his best season of his career. That's the last I'll go over of his stats. As you can see, most of his career, he's been a guy who is a backup. If you look at his career, he's played 120 games, a little bit more than half of his games he's been a starter, 62 games, but almost half of his NFL games he's been a bench guy. And I think on a stacked defensive line like the Cowboys, that's what he'll find himself being for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm interested to see how he does. Let's go over trade details. The New York Giants are receiving Sam Williams. The New York Giants are receiving a 6th-round pick, while the Dallas Cowboys are receiving Williams with a 7th-round pick. For Dallas, who needs a defensive tackle after losing Sam Williams, they really needed that. So this was a team need for them. And at the same time, you're hurting your division rival in the Giants. And I don't like division rival trades, whether it's in baseball or it's in football. I mean, I think in basketball it doesn't really matter. I think with basketball, it's really about conference. But because yes, there are divisions in basketball, but the division is not as important as the conferences in basketball, or your biggest threats in the conference, whether it's in the Western Conference or in the Eastern Conference. But in the MLB, mainly in the MLB and the NFL, I hate division trades. Even though this might be a player you really want on your current team, whatever you're giving up, you're helping out a division rival. Now in Dallas's case here, I don't think it really matters because they're not giving up much. They're giving up a 6th-round pick to get Phillips and get a 7th-round pick with him. So it's not a heavy cost for Dallas. It's not like they're trading for someone that's gonna I'm not saying Phillips is not gonna help out their team, but they're not trading for one of the Giants' best players. They're not trading for a Brian Burns or a Kayvon Thibodeau or someone else who's going to really help out their roster and it's going to be a heavy cost. They're not trading away someone who's going to cost an area of a 5th to 2nd rounder, where the Giants could really turn somebody. They could really draft someone nice. I mean, obviously you could find somebody solid in the 6th round with that 6th rounder that they are getting from Dallas, but Dallas is also getting a 7th rounder. You could say the same thing about them. They could find somebody nice with their 7th round pick too. And they're also getting a solid player who's going to help out their team. So I don't think really Dallas hurts from this trade. And honestly, I don't really know if I could tell you guys that the Giants really even hurt from this trade either. They have a stacked defensive line that looks really solid going into this next season. And honestly, I don't really think that Jordan Phillips was going to make the Giants' 53-man roster. I think if they didn't find a trade partner like they did with the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think he was going to make the 50. I think this is going to be a guy who was going to get cut from their roster. So it's not like this is someone that they affected. It's not like this was someone that was going to be a part of the New York Giants team this year. Now, I think the only thing you look at this trade for the Giants that's bad for them now is that you faced the Cowboys twice this year. Jordan Phillips could do something good against you, and then you look really bad. As let's just say, Jordan Phillips goes and sacks Daniel Jones or takes down Devin Singletary for a big tackle for loss, and then you're thinking, oh, we helped the Cowboys out. I mean, honestly, I know that they got a 6th rounder and gave up a 7th round pick, gave up a 7th round pick with Phillips to get that 6th round pick. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple other teams who need defensive line depth that would potentially give up that same cost to get Jordan Phillips. I don't think it had to be a deal with the Cowboys. I could be wrong, but I mean, I find it interesting when these division deals happen. Let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comment section, and peace out.